Hello everyone, welcome to the Trendline Invest channel. So in this video, we're going to look at 6 fundamentally good stocks for investing. And also through this video, I'm going to teach you how to pick stocks, what are the parameters that I've looked for, especially when you're looking for fundamentally good stocks, and also how can you use technical analysis to invest in them. So let's get started. But as always, a disclaimer, this video is purely educational video and my objective here is to teach you how to use technical analysis to invest in stocks. Okay, so let's get started. So the first stock for today is Goodluck India. Now, Goodluck India is a stock that I covered some time back, but I'm covering this again because this stock again looks fundamentally excellent and also technically it is breaking out from a long consolidation. Now here, whenever you look at a stock and you want to check fundamentals, and if you really do not have the time to do in-depth fundamental research, all you have to look at is a few parameters. So the first parameter that I always look at is the ROCE. ROCE is nothing but return on capital employed. So basically we're looking at how much the company is able to generate returns for the capital that they have deployed in the company. Now this company is able to generate a 16.3% ROCE, which is pretty good. Now, along with this, ROE also is a pretty good number to look at, which is 16%. And then you look at the PE is 14.2. Now, ideally, my thumb rule that I follow at least is if the ROCE is 16, then I expect the PE to trade at least at 16. Right now, that's the kind of a thumb rule that I follow at least because I don't have the time to do in-depth fundamental research. So in case if this is below 16, then I kind of find it undervalued and I try to see, okay, if the technicals are looking good, then I try to find the technicals and I try to find an entry point with a stop loss and see if it works out. Now, it's that simple. Now, this is a very small company, 1,354 crores. And here, the most important thing that you have to look at when you look at fundamentals is the sales growth and the PAT growth. Now remember, the price is always a slave of earnings. If the company doesn't post profits, the company's share price will not do well in the long run. In the short run, it can give you quick returns, but in the long run, for investing, you have to have good sales and PAT growth. Only then you will also see the share price appreciating in the long run. Now here, this company has grown its sales by a 23% CAGR in the last 3 years, and the PAT has grown by a 37% CAGR in the last 3 years. Now also take a look at the numbers. Since 2012, in the last 10 years, the sales has gone up 5 times. So they've gone up from 677 crores to almost 3,000 crores. Now look at the last 2 years, the sales has jumped almost 100%. Now that's very solid numbers, and probably that's why the stock has already run up a lot and is now consolidating for the last one year or so. Also, the operating margins have been kind of stable around the 7%, 8% mark, and that's also a very good sign that the company has not had a very volatile operating profits or PAT, right? The other income has kind of been okay. We've had 14 crores last year, but overall it's not a very big fluctuation, so it's totally fine. The interest has gone up. It's gone up from 40 crores to almost 66 crores, but in the last 5-6 years, it has been almost stable. So again, it's not a very major concern. The PAT has hit an all-time high. Profit before tax has hit an all-time high of 120 crores. And here also, if you see, the PAT has hit an all-time high of 87 crores. So overall, from a fundamental perspective, if you look at such companies, just the P&L, ROC, ROE, sales growth and PAT growth is more than enough to finalize if a company is good, right? If you have the time, then go ahead and try to read some research reports, try to see how the industry is doing, and probably you'll get a fair idea. I'll try to cover that part in a separate video, but for now, this is how much you need to look at from a fundamental perspective. And then you move to the technicals. Now, when you're looking at stocks for investing, always start with the monthly charts. Now, that's a very simple rule. Start with monthly charts, then look at weekly, and then you can decide whether you want to invest or not. Now, in the monthly charts, now this company was listed somewhere in 2015. So we had a major resistance around this zone over here, 100 levels. And then we had a crazy breakout somewhere around July of 2022. And then the stock has been going completely sideways. Now, it's very important to understand that every stock will pause and consolidate like this, go sideways basically for a certain period of time because of this rally. Now, we had a one-wave move up, and then it's natural for a stock to consolidate for some time. Now, again, here also we had a consolidation. So it's probably going to break out. We are seeing some good volumes coming in. So overall, I think this stock is almost at the end of its consolidation and it might head higher. Okay, so that's the monthly chart. The trend is clearly up and you do not have to worry if the base is forming. This is just a normal thing for a stock to form. And then you try to enter on a breakout over here. Now let's move on to the weekly charts. Now the weekly charts, now this clear uptrend that you see is from this point. So I've connected this point here and I drag this here and I draw a channel here, and that's the channel that you see here. Now, you don't have to draw channels. All you have to look at is higher highs and higher lows. So when a stock is going up like that, that says that the stock is in an uptrend. So it's forming, every time it's forming a new high, and that's what we call a higher high. And then you have higher lows, right? The lows also are going up. So for me, this stock reached the upper end of the channel, and now it has done a complete time correction, and we are close to the lower end of the channel here. And also last 2 weeks, the volumes have been excellent. Now, CCI also has been bullish, which means the stock is gaining momentum, and relative strength also has been excellent here. So overall for me, this looks like a very good investment pick, number one pick from this entire set of stocks we're discussing today. And you can enter the stock at 497 current market price, a stop loss of 12.4%, which is not very much for an investing stock. And we're going to look at targets of 900, which is 80% from here, right? Now, in terms of position sizing, it's very, very important for you to understand that you should not be going with the 20% position size for investing, because there'd be huge fluctuations in small cap stocks, and that might drive your portfolio crazy. So try to go with a small 5% position size, and then if the stock does well, you can add more and take it to a 10%. But I strongly suggest, if you're investing and if you're still learning, do not take it more than 10%, because you might not be able to handle the ups and downs of a stock, and you might really get excited with a crazy move up, and also a crazy move down would frustrate you. So stick to 5%, and you will just do fine in your investing journey. So that's the first stock today. The second stock today is Kirloskar Engines. Now again, from a fundamental perspective, this is an excellent company. So here the market cap is 6,000 crores. It's a mid-cap company, unlike the previous company that we saw, Goodluck. And here again, ROC is 13.4, PE is 19.8. Again, as I said, here this ratio, if it's greater than 2, is when I'd be really worried. But I tend to usually keep my stop losses, so in case it doesn't work out, my stop loss will hit and it'll say me. Now in this case, again, ROC is very good, ROE is good, PE is okay, 19.8, so it's not overvalued in my opinion. And here the sales growth and the profit growth. Now all these stocks have been picked from my CCI weekly 100 scanner, crossing 100 scanner, which is the only scanner you have to use for investing. Now, I'll also make a separate video on the entire strategy itself, but for now, all you have to understand is the sales growth, PAT growth, ROC, and fundamentals are looking good. And the sales has grown from 2,400 crores to almost 5,000 crores. So almost 100% growth in the last 7 years. Also, the operating profit have started going up. Now, I always tell, if you're looking stocks for investing, and if the company is increasing its operating margins, now that's a very, very good sign, and you must consider that stock for your portfolio. If you have room to consider it, do consider it. Also, the PAT has hit an all-time high of 332 crores, and that's why we're discussing this stock as a second fundamental pick today, or a techno fund pick for today. So looking at the monthly charts here, so here weekly charts here, so the stock kind of had a breakout somewhere, in 2021 March, and we had a crazy move up, but then it retested the entire, it came all the way down and retested the support zone, and then again we had a breakout. Now, if you really want to find good picks, try to find stocks which are breaking out again after retest of the major support zone. Now, this is a very good pick here. If you had picked the stock here at this point, must have been a really good pick. The stock had a crazy move up, consolidation. Again, it has been consolidating. Now, this structure here is similar to what we saw in Goodluck India. Now, this is what we call a base on base. I don't want to get into that specifically, but all you need to understand is a consolidation after consolidation, the stock will eventually have to move up and head higher. That's a good sign. Again, volumes have been picking up this week. Also, CCI and RS have been bullish. So that's the second stock. You can enter current market price 440, stop loss of 13.6%. Go and look for targets of 77% or 780. Now, remember the targets that I've given here is just purely just for you to give an idea of where the stock is headed to. But eventually, the stock can head much, much higher. These are fundamentally very good companies, and if they do well in the next few years, they can even give multi-bagger returns. So don't just sell them off. Try to trail your stop loss on the weekly charts and see how far it goes. So here again, the position size is 5%. For all the stocks we're discussing, the position size is going to be 5%. So that's the second stock for today. The third stock is Nesco. Now, a lot of you know IT companies, but this Nesco is a company which leases buildings to IT companies. Now again, a small company, 4,800 crores, ROC is 21.8, PE is 15.8, which means it's undervalued. In my opinion, ROE is good. But the sales growth also has not been great like other two companies, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. 8% sales growth here and 9% sales growth here. But the most important point that we're discussing today is the sales that came in March 2023. Now remember, this stock company has increased its sales from 128 to almost 430 in 2020. but then it kind of dipped because of COVID probably. Not many people are working from office probably, and companies did not want to lease. But now most of the companies are opening up again and they're asking their employees to come back. Now probably that's what is driving this here. And this company has an excellent operating margin of 60-70%. And this company also posted an all-time high PAT in 2023. So that's why we are looking at this stock today. But the most interesting part in this stock is the chart. Now, since 2018, this stock has not given any returns in spite of this company posting a very good financial year 2023 results. Now, that's why I think that this stock has a huge potential. It came in the scanner today, and this is a beautiful channel. Now, textbook channel will have 3 touch points this side, or 2 touch points this side, and 2 touch points this side. Now, if the stock was somewhere here and if I drew this channel, this wouldn't have been a perfect channel. But now if you see this perfect 3 touch points and perfect touch point here as well. So this gives me very high confidence that this channel is going to hold and the stock will again enter a multi-year uptrend. Now this stock can again head higher and higher and can go to much higher levels. But looking at the weekly charts, again, this is a nice rectangle breakout here. We're having a strong bullish candle with volumes, and relative strength also is good. The markets have been weak this week, but this stock has done exceedingly well. So that's why we are discussing this. Entry at 686, stop loss of 14%, and we are looking for targets of 1100. Now, I know the target is slightly lower than the other two, but this stock, I think it might face some consolidation around that 1100 mark, because that's the middle of the channel, and that's usually how I set my targets, but this is slightly above that middle channel. Okay, so this is the third stock for today. I hope you're enjoying my analysis until now. Now, in case you enjoy my analysis, you can buy me a coffee, you can spend some money, and you can support my YouTube and my Twitter handle, and you can find the link for buy me a coffee in my description. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well. I hope you're enjoying this video. Let's move forward. So the fourth stock for today is a very famous metal stock which does a lot of chit chat on Twitter, is Hindustan Copper. Right, again, so in terms of ROC and P, if you go by the same logic that I just mentioned, it's slightly overvalued, but I think the sales might and profits might pick up if the copper as a commodity does well, right? So market cap is around 12,000 crores. Again, the sales growth has been good. Profit growth also has been good, and that's why I picked up Hindustan Copper. And the sales, actually, if you see, we've been kind of almost stagnant since 2019. The growth here is because of the 2020 dip, right? So don't get fooled by these numbers sometimes, because this actually shows that the company has had almost stagnant sales for the last few years. And also here, the PAT has not been very great, right? So we went 146 to 374. Yes, we've slightly jumped up because of the good operating margins. But overall, if you were to exclude one stock from this entire 6 stocks today, this would be the stock I would exclude, because it's a commodity stock. It's a very cyclical company, cyclical stocks. They tend to give returns very quick, and your portfolio might be very volatile. So if you want to exclude one stock, this will be a stock that you would exclude today. But also remember, if the stock does well, it will give you quick returns as well. So moving on to the charts, the monthly chart is here in front of me. And if you see, after this May 2021 top, the stock has been in a complete sideways consolidation, right? And we are kind of forming a inverted head and shoulders here. And I think we might break out above 127 this month. If we close above that on Monday, then I think we'll have a very good closing. Volumes have picked up finally after many months. You see some slight surge in volumes, right? So that's what is giving me confidence that this stock will head higher. Now, zooming into the weekly charts here, again, this is a pivot zone, pivot point over here on the weekly charts. We had a nice move here when CCI was bullish and latest was bullish, but the stock did not hold it. It came all the way down. So now if you cross above this level, then I think there's a major trend change coming. But the point to note here is, after 6 weeks, we are finally having a strong green candle with a rise in volumes, and relative strength also is looking good. Now, for that reason, I'm discussing this stock. I hope it does well. Entry at 128, stop loss of just 14% or 110. We're looking for targets of 250, which is 95% from here. Again, this 250 is nothing but the previous highs that we had, so it might go slightly above that as well. But that's the middle channel of this entire channel. If you draw a channel, that's the middle of the channel that I'm looking at here. So that's the fourth stock. The fifth stock is an amazing company which has not done well at all, but it's a FMCG company, Gillette. A lot of us use Gillette products, so you know how good the company as a brand name is. It is 18,000 crores company, a mid-cap company. ROC is 51 and 56. Now, whenever someone looks at a PE 56, they think that it's an overvalued company. You always have to look at that in combination with your sales growth, PAT growth, your ROC numbers. Now here, for me, this doesn't look overvalued, and sales and PAT growth has been moderate, 6%, 4%. But here, looking at the sales numbers, the last year we had some amazing numbers here in June 2022, post 2021. So kind of decent growth in the last 3 years. But again, this company can do much well in case a lot of people start buying again Gillette products, and if the company can change its strategy a little bit towards people having more beard, right? So here, operating margins have been pretty good. Profit also has been pretty good. Overall, a very profitable company, and that's why we're discussing this stock as a fifth stock. So Gillette, what happened recently is this was a major support zone. The kind of price came all the way and hit the zone, and you see these massive volumes. Now, whenever you see the price hitting a major support zone and you see massive volumes, that's most likely an accumulation. Now, in this case, there was some massive volumes in the last 5 months, 4 months, and now we are eventually breaking out here and we are seeing a trend change. So if you zoom on to the weekly charts, you will see that it crossed above the previous pivot high. We had a resistance over here, it crossed there easily, and then this week the price retested that zone and we closed higher. So overall, I think the stock is showing some real bullishness here, and I think it might outperform the overall markets. So you can buy the stock at 5715. Stop loss of just 5.5%. So in terms of stop loss, this is one of the best stop losses. But here I'm looking for 8,000, which is the all-time high price, which is 40% from here. That's the fifth stock. The last stock for today is Lincon from the pharma space. Again, I posted this stock some time back, multiple times on Twitter, discussed this multiple times. Fundamentally a very good company. ROC of 21.8, PE of 12, market cap 872 crores, sales and PAT growth of 10% and 12%. Sales has grown up from 188 crores to almost 472 crores. In fact, 510 crores in 2023. These are some excellent numbers in terms of growth. And also the margins have shot up to 20% here, but then couldn't sustain at 17% right now. And we're looking at also all-time high PAT here in this company. So for that reason, we're discussing this last stock, and the fundamentals are looking excellent. We had an amazing breakout from this major consolidation. The stock went all the way up and retested. Now remember, I told you the same example in Kirloskar Engines. This could have been a very good buy around this zone over here after the retest and when it kind of headed higher again. And now we are seeing it breaking out from the July, September 2021 highs. And I think once we cross this and comfortably close this month, then we'll see an excellent rally going forward in the stock as well. So you can buy a stock at current market price 435, stop loss of 10.3, and we're looking for target of 600. Now, another point to note here is you can also buy the stock when there are 3 touch points here and a trend line breakout happens. You can also buy the stock here as well when it's making a higher high. So that's something that you can observe. And since then, the stock has been in a bullish momentum, some consolidation, but the overall the stock has been outperforming the overall markets. So this is an excellent bet again, last bet from the pharma space, and I think this will do well going forward. So these are 6 stocks. I hope you enjoyed my analysis. Do let me know in the comments what you think of my stock analysis, and if you want any inputs on some other stocks, you can DM me on Twitter and I'll help you with my analysis. So that's it for today. I'm going to leave you here. Take care, stay safe and trade safe. Until I see you in another video. Bye-bye.